I was 10 years old when my mom died after a long battle with cancer. With no close relatives nearby, I had to move in with my dad, who had now remarried. My mom and dad started dating in college. After graduation, they married in a simple ceremony with family and friends. After a few months, I was born. Unfortunately, their marriage only lasted for 4 years. After the divorce, my dad moved to a new city to start a new life while I remained with my mom. In the entire time when I lived with my mom, I never saw my dad nor talked to him. Months after the divorce, my dad married a woman named Margaret, and they had 2 kids, Lily and Ethan. My dad would later become a successful and wealthy real estate investor. Money was in plenty, and with his new family, they lived in opulence. I remember the first time I walked into the luxurious mansion. As a 10-year-old, I had never been in such a huge house. My stepmom, stepbrother and stepsister had been informed that I was coming. They were in the living room waiting for me. Lily and Ethan were excited. They were about 5 years younger than me, so they were thrilled by the idea of having an older brother. As for my stepmom, she was not bothered. She was busy scrolling her phone. It's as if she felt I was coming to take what rightly belonged to her children. After a small chit-chat, my dad asked me to pick up my bags so that he could show me my new room. My stepmom stood in objection. She claimed that her sister was coming to stay for a few weeks and had reserved that room for her. Interestingly, the sister never came. With no other spare bedroom, I was ushered into a dingy room in the basement. The room was initially a store, but after my arrival, it was repurposed into a small bedroom. I would have wanted to be in one of those big bedrooms, but I had no say nor options. At least I had a roof over my head. In the years that followed, and as a maturing teenager, I could see the outright favoritism that my stepmom had over her kids. I had to earn money by doing house chores. The money I earned was what I would use to buy myself clothes and shoes. This was not the case with my brother and sister, as they got whatever they asked. The family would go for vacation twice every year, but I was always left behind. My stepmom claimed that being the older one, I needed to remain behind to look after the house. I remember how my brother and sister received countless gifts while all I received were harsh words about how I was an outsider and unwanted. Whenever I tried to raise the issue with my dad, he often said that I was exaggerating the issues and that I should be lucky that my stepmom had allowed me to live there in the first place. The feeling of being excluded and unloved made me seek solace in schoolwork. I was never allowed to watch TV, have gadgets, or be part of family outings, so schoolwork was all I had. There are times I missed my biological mom so much and wondered how different my life would have been if she was still alive. After graduation, I finally moved out of my family's mansion. No one was bothered by my achievement. In fact, it seemed as if they were happy that I could finally leave. I was, however, lucky enough to find a well-paying corporate job. One morning, I was surprised when I saw my dad come to visit me at my office. He told me he had come to apologize for failing to stand up for me when I raised issues about how my stepmom treated me. He told me that due to his indifference, he was now suffering the consequences. He told me that Lily and Ethan had turned out to be irresponsible adults who only cared about alcohol, drugs, and gambling. He lamented how they had both dropped out of college due to the drug problem. Efforts to rehabilitate them bore no fruits. When he employed them at his real estate companies, all they did was steal money to fund their addiction. My dad told me that with him heading to retirement, he needed someone to take over his real estate companies, and the best person he had in mind was me. To be honest, I was overwhelmed with emotions. All my life, they did everything to deny me the luxurious life they had out of the profits from these companies, yet they now wanted me to run them. After much thought, I agreed. In the years that followed, I ran the companies successfully. I ensured my stepmom and dad lived a comfortable life. As for Lily and Ethan, nothing much changed even after countless efforts to rehabilitate them. My stepmom had planted seeds of entitlement and irresponsibility in them, and for that, she had to live with her mistakes.